What's going on, everybody? So I played CRL, obviously. If you saw my post, we went 7-3, but I just wanted to show you guys this match because I'm not going to spoil who, I guess I already spoiled who won, but I'm just going to say that the last match was literally, like, I'm not even exaggerating, as close as it can possibly be to being like a loss. So the first match, he's playing Lava Hound. I kind of just go aggressive here with Expo at the bridge since I put a Tesla down and he didn't do anything to respond to it. So I was just like, you know what, let's just send it at the river, see what he's playing, get that early Expo damage. And that worked out pretty well. I kind of was panicking right here when he put down the balloon, but I got back to another Tesla before it got to my tower, luckily. But at this point, I was like, okay, so he's probably just going to Lava Hound in the back. I don't have anything in cycle at all to like kill air, and I can't go expo because then I'm going to just be down way too much elixir. But luckily for me, this guy, maybe he's not a Lava Hound player or I don't know what, but he just sets up a cage in the middle, which basically saves my life because I need to cycle ground units. Like, I don't have anything for the air troops right now, so I just am able to cycle a log on that cage, which is absolutely ideal. And then I just go for the knight in the back. But yeah, it was pretty sad about not qualifying because I like thought I had it for sure. Like, I was playing so good. Almost every single matchup was like being played really well, and I don't know, the last game I couldn't quite pull it off. It was a tough matchup. It was like we were both playing Royal Giant, and I'm not good enough with Royal Giant to know how to beat it. And I also was playing like the Lightning version, and he had Fireball and he had Zappies, so I just couldn't kill the Zappies, and they were just ruining my game. And yeah, I don't know. Not really making excuses, I just lost, like, unfortunately. But I guess that happens. Pretty happy with my performance overall, but it's just obviously not quite enough to qualify, which is sad. But it is what it is. That's why I didn't post yesterday. I was like, I don't want to, I mean, technically I'm still recording it the same day, but I didn't actually get this video uploaded till the next day, if that makes sense. Okay, but anyway, back to the game. He was going really aggressive right here. Kind of a scary defense, but I mean, there's basically nothing he could do at this point as long as I play correctly. There's no way he gets damage. Or like, he can get some damage, but there's no way he's going to break through and take my tower. So I have two Ice Wizards on the board. That's basically how you know it's game over. He just kind of wasted an Inferno Dragon right there. And yeah, nothing too crazy happens the rest of the game. It's just kind of like I go for an offensive bow. I think he defends this one somehow. Like barely, if I'm not mistaken. Does he even defend this one? I'm not sure. I might win right here. Yeah, I think I win right here. Expo does not connect, actually. So I think I go for one more Expo. There's just no way for him really to stop me. And all I need to do is not take 4 balloon shots to win the game. So yeah, game 1 is in my favor here. But game 2, you're going to see, doesn't go quite as smoothly. For the second game, I pick this mortar deck that it's like Mortar Hog with a monk. I actually played it a couple times, and it's really solid overall if you play it correctly. It's good against a lot of decks. This one, not really, because there's just way too much spam. I could not handle the recruits, as you're going to see. When they get to the evolution recruits, the monk doesn't really help you, unfortunately. And I wish I had something else like a Valkyrie. If I had a Valk instead of the monk in this matchup, I definitely could have had a chance. But yeah, as you see from the start already, I'm having to burn so much elixir, and he's just kind of spamming on the river. I go for the guards. They take out the rest of that push. So we get 1 defense clean. Feeling okay, but if you look at the elixir count, I was down like 4 already. So obviously it's going to be even harder to defend every single time that he goes in, and this time he's obviously going to have the evolution recruits, so you'll just see how hard it is to stop it. I just go for the monk in the back to match that golden knight, and I believe, what does he do? Go for Zappies? Yeah, he just resets in the back and then goes for the Evo recruits at the bridge, if I'm not mistaken. This was like 7 hours ago, so I'm not 100% sure on exactly what he did, but I think he just spams the bridge here. Yeah, there it is. And I'm like, oh crap. Alright, so I cycle my mortar early, get the Ice Spirit down just to make sure that knight doesn't dash on my tower, and like, this just gets bad so quickly. I could not even protect that musketeer because I don't have my guards in cycle, and the recruits just dashed right on top of it, took the entire thing out, and took out half my tower on this other side. But, you know, it's fine. The other side, literally 1 battle ram in like a few recruit stabs or something, takes out the tower down to 310, and I'm like, bro, there's just no way I lost that much health on my tower from one stupid evolution recruits push that literally is undefendable. So I think I just go for the musketeer and then just start pressuring. I actually make kind of a comeback here. I'll show you how I played this. Like, after we got out a single elixir, I could actually defend, but it's just the single elixir, there's just way too much garbage on the board for me to actually like be able to stop it all. So I just go for the guards to tank for my muskie, and the mortar locks on tower, and it's evolution mortar obviously, so it takes a huge chunk of damage every time it hits, as well as that goblin gets a few swings most of the time. I just go for the hog rider again, and I swear I thought the musketeer plus earthquake, like, if you earthquake the zappies, the musketeer should only take one shot to kill it, right? But no, apparently it takes two. So I just got rolled right there, and then I just go for the mortar up high for his what is it called? Battle ram. But as you see, the heal spirit just absolutely carries him. I can't do anything to stop these recruits, and literally I just couldn't defend his push. There was just too much swarm. But anyway, that took us to game 3, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to play. I ended up choosing this graveyard deck that has been working decently well for me, but unfortunately for me, look at the deck he's playing. So I have graveyard, and it's already really bad, right? Because he has minor poison control. Like, one of the worst, if not the worst matchup possible for a graveyard deck, especially a graveyard deck without, like, tornado and a bunch of air. And, like, this is, if I had splash yard, this would have been more possible. But this version with, like, barbarians, I mean, there's just no way for me to ever get damage, basically, if he plays it correctly. The one thing I do have that's kind of good is the arrows, but obviously he can just outcycle so easily that they don't even really do too much for me. He goes ahead and logs the Skelly King. Yeah, it doesn't look good from the beginning. Some unfortunate things happen as well in this game, so, like, just wasn't a good start. I just cycled the Inferno Dragon back in the back, trying to just play slow and see if I can get him to do anything crazy. I just split the zappies again, and there's not really too much to be done right here. We're just kind of playing slowly, but this guy does not care about that. He's just going to spam the bridge with his bats minor. The whole game he's pretty much minoring my tower. Like, as this, I mean, that's just how this deck works. You can just pressure the entire game because your cards are so cheap. And obviously mine is pretty, what is it called? My deck is pretty hefty. So I go for the Skelly King on top of his wall breakers because I had basically no choice but to do that, because I can't just let the two wall breakers connect because they would also kill my barbarians, and the bomb tower just gets so much value for him right here. Takes out my entire right side, like everything. I believe there's 3 barbarians and a Skelly King right there, and it just all got wiped. So pretty depressing right there. He goes for another minor bats, and I'm just like, dude, can you chill out? I think he goes for the wall breakers as well behind. Yeah, he does. So I'm forced to burn my tombstone, which is fine. You don't really need the tombstone for anything anyways, except for the wall breakers. And I was like, all right. So he just gets back to Spear Goblins to defend my Inferno Dragon, and I'm like, all right. So double elixir, I need to start going in for pushes. I don't think he'd used his poison yet at this point, but I was like 99.99% sure that he had it. So I just put the barbs in the back. I knew the only way to win this is like maybe double lane pressure or something, or just building too big of a push that he can't defend. So I believe I just arrowed these bats off the board right away. Yeah, I do. And then I go in for a graveyard here, trying to just get some damage. But yeah, he just poisons it. We do get a little bit of damage from the RNG, but the miner's just chipping down my tower, so basically got me nothing. I just cycled the zappies in the back, and yeah, everything gets absolutely destroyed. Tombstone for the wall breakers once again right there. Kind of the same thing that I've been doing the whole game. I think I go for the Inferno Dragon up high to snipe his bomb tower, and this is where things start to turn around a little bit for me. I go for the arrows on top of the bats, just take out that bomb tower. He wastes the spear goblins, so he's kind of overprotecting that bomb tower for like no reason. This is really bad. So I put the zappies down expecting them to kill like the wall breakers, and both of them somehow get through and connect, and I'm like, bro, there's just no way that happened. And then he goes for the bomb tower. I'm like, okay, I just got to start spamming the bridge because there's no way I'm ever gonna break through. He kind of overcommits here with a miner on my tower and then wall breakers at the bridge, so I go in for a graveyard, and this is where things get crazy. So his miner almost takes my tower, but look at my Inferno Dragon. It is going towards his tower. He decides to go for the poison on top of my tower, and then he doesn't pick up the Inferno Dragon with the bats quick enough, so I fireball on 0. Inferno Dragon's heating up super quickly. The poison's ticking though, literally 1 HP away from taking my tower, and I hit the fireball. The Inferno Dragon burned the rest of the tower, and we somehow pull off the, I don't even know how I won that matchup. It was honestly a miracle. So this is actually the very last set. I'm down 0-1 at this point. I just wanted to show you guys this one game because I played out of my mind against Recruits Poison Minor Cycle, which is like, how am I ever going to beat that, right? But just watch. I mean, I don't even have that much to say. I don't know why I even won this matchup, but it was just a really clean game overall, and I thought I wanted to show it because it's actually against recruits, and obviously I don't beat recruits too often, so I think it'd be good to actually put a video of me, or like a gameplay of me beating it, and explain what I did, since obviously it's going to be easier for me to commentate when it's not live. So I just go ahead and Tesla and then NATO all that off. I go for the Knight on top of his Miner, and that was a really, really good defense. We take literally 0 damage on that left side, even though he spammed, what, like recruits, bats, wall breakers, and Miner. We took 0 damage, which is pretty impressive in itself. He goes for the Spear Goblins a little bit late right there, and I think he goes for the Evo recruits in the back, if I'm not mistaken, which is obviously annoying, but the one thing I didn't want to do right here was go for the defensive expo too early, because obviously he's got the poison, so he's just going to cycle his poison. On top of that, we do go for the expo right there, force out his wall breakers early, so I already know that I'm in a good situation after that, because even though one connects, it doesn't really change anything. He has to go for bomb tower on 0, and then I'm going to just be able to easily defend his recruits on this left side. I just go for skellies, I believe, and that counters the rest of this. I don't even think I have to do anything else. Maybe I go for a Knight, I can't remember. Yeah, he does go for the Miner bats on 0, which is very aggressive. I was like, whoa, this guy, a little bit in over his head at the start of this game with like his aggression for no reason. So he doesn't have a great response to this Evo Knight. I believe he just cycles another set of recruits. The thing about this deck that he's playing, which is so difficult for me, is that he has so many, like such a cheap cycle that he can get back to recruits like it's nothing. It's literally just Miner cycle with recruits instead of like a Knight or something. So I just go for another Tesla in the middle. I believe he poisons that, which is good for me. You want him to poison anything with your expo, and that's obviously going to be beneficial. So I just cycle my Knight in the back once again, go for the Ice Whiz as well, and I kind of just start building. I was kind of expecting him to pre-bomb tower, but he didn't do it, so I just kind of sent it at the river here. He goes for the recruits evolution. We get a nice log immediately, and then I believe he poisons as well, and this is when I know I can start out cycling. So I just go for the Knight on the right side to kill the rest of these recruits, but that Knight wasn't just for defense, it was like for this next push as well. So I just cycle an Ice Whiz, drop an expo immediately, and then we log those wall breakers on 0, and I'm like, okay, he's not back to recruits, still needs one more card, and I potentially could get a lock on here. He doesn't try to go for the recruits because I think he was scared he wasn't going to get him down in time, which is really good for me, and you'll see why it ends up being really, really good. So the expo gets a little bit of damage, I believe, on his tower, like 2 or 3 ticks, whatever, we'll take it. I'm just going to keep pressuring at this point in the game. He doesn't have his evolution recruits in cycle, so it's going to be a lot easier for me to defend. So I go for my Evo Knight. That's the main reason I wanted to go in, is because I had my Evo Knight ready. I just cycled log again. He's still not back to poison, which is really bad for him. And now he finally goes for the poison so late that it's not even going to kill the expo in time. And my Ice Whiz gets on tower. He's forced to go for a snowball, and as soon as he snowballs, I know he's not at 7 elixirs, so I drop the expo. There's no chance of him getting those recruits down. I NATO that out of range, and that's GG's basically. I mean, nothing he can really do at that point. I just kind of had to keep the pressure on him. If you can get into a really good cycle, then there's like a chance you can pull off wins like this against recruits. But overall, somehow we just dominated this matchup, won by like 2,000 HP. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching the video. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace.